I'm Stephen Michael with Michael Enterprise in Barrie. I'm here with my crew. We're setting up for another charitable event. If you have a need out there for audio and visual, you're a charity. We're here because we care.
During the week before the scheduled May 30th meeting of Barrie City Council, Mike McCann, the often controversial councillor from Ward 10, released online through social media a survey of what he says are concerns brought to him regarding the safety of residents while visiting downtown. His main areas of interest were drug addiction, panhandling, and prostitution. McCann's idea of a solution to these complicated social issues appears to be a clean sweep by which he will make the afflicted simply disappear due to fear of harassment by the police or private security. Such an abuse of both power and civil liberties would then presumably be justified by blaming those at the lowest levels for falling into the cracks within our social structure. He also sought opinions on decentralizing the social services that work to help the poor. Mike's myopic mission drew the ire and fire of many caring groups and individuals, including those who work daily to support the very people who would be adversely affected by the proposed boots on the ground philosophy.
We wanted to show solidarity to the people that are experiencing homelessness. The motion that's been put forward is really attacking and targeting those that are living in poverty, and we don't want to stand for that. Survival is not a crime, and we want to show that, together we can stand up against these inappropriate comments and motions to make sure that people are included in our community, and that we're not treating people that are already down and trying to survive as criminals, because they're not. They're amazing people.
A group of about 75 people joined organizers from the Simcoe Barrie Bethune Club, first outside City Hall and then in the auditorium of Council Chambers.
I want to make sure that Council knows that this kind of motion, this kind of talk won't be tolerated. That Barrie is a community that respects everybody, and we feel that everyone deserves respect and dignity. And we're just not going to tolerate any politician that thinks otherwise.
This proposal will specifically target people who have already been stigmatized and excluded, marginalized by Barrie police. I hope to see some accountability on the councillor's side to see a revoke of this proposal.
I am here to protest against Councilor Mike McCann's proposal for more policing and a potential further crackdown on already marginalized people without really actually helping them, but actually criminalizing more than helping them.
As the matter came to debate, it became clear that Mike McCann stood alone in his views, as few, if any, of the other councillors seemed willing to accept that blaming and punishing the poor was the answer to improving the image of our downtown core.
We're standing up for our neighbors in downtown Barrie. We don't think that people should be criminalized for living in poverty, for experiencing homelessness. People deserve love and compassion and support and real solutions, not demonization and criminalization. So we are here to fight the motion from Councilor McCann this evening that would further criminalize and demonize people who are experiencing poverty, and we're standing up for our neighbors.
Before the idea could even be presented, Councilor Robert Thomson of Ward 5 and Councilor Keenan Aylwin of Ward 2, which includes downtown, both submitted proposed amendments to the pending motion.
So I want to introduce a completely different motion, and it reads as followed. That the Barrie Police Service be requested to present and implement a framework to City Council outlining how they are going to carry out their legislative responsibilities, meeting objectives of the provincially legislated City of Barrie Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan, and continue collaboration efforts with all service partners to support these experience mental health crisis, addiction, and homelessness. 2. That as part of their 2023 budget, the Barrie Police Service Board present Council with a budget inclusive of a full complement of members required to support the Community and Safety and Wellbeing Plan and implementation of the Barrie Police Strategic Plan. 3. That correspondence be sent to the Ontario Provincial Police requesting them to continue their efforts to address the safety of the Highway 400 ramps. 4. That correspondence be sent to the provincial government and local MPPs requesting them to make increased investment in resource and social services agencies and continue the collaboration on the improvement works of improving discharge plan from provincial institutes such as hospitals, correctional institutes, and mental health facilities a priority. 5, that correspondence be sent to the federal and provincial government requesting them to make significant investments in housing for low-income individuals and families to address the current housing and homelessness crisis. In no way am I looking to criminalize the people who are on the ramps or anything, but for the safety of everybody, the encampments on the ramps can create a hazard to drivers and the people who are using them. Like, I try to find a compromise, and I just think that we've got to take a full approach, and we've got to request the other levels of government to truly step in, because in a couple weeks we are going to be in a world of problems when the housing or the hotel method closes.
I believe in what this city can become. I think we can become a city where everybody can live a life of dignity and safety. But sadly, that's not a reality yet in Barrie. We have been facing a crushing housing and homelessness crisis for years now. Hundreds of people in our community, our neighbors, these are our neighbors, our family and our friends, have been denied their basic human right to housing, to shelter, a basic human need. And thousands of people in our community are they're legislated into poverty through programs like Ontario Works and the Ontario Disability Support Payments Program. They're struggling to make ends meet day after day after day on those programs. And we've lost hundreds of members of our community to the toxic drug poisoning crisis, which is brought on by the failed war on drugs that this motion is looking to continue. And it's also brought on by a lack of harm reduction support. We can't arrest our way out of these systemic problems, and the police will tell you that. Social service agencies will tell you that. And most importantly, people who are living in poverty and experiencing homelessness or living in shelters will tell you that. So then I'll move an amendment to replace paragraphs 1 to 3 of Councilor Thomson's motion. So paragraphs 1 to 3, just let me pull that up. So those are requests to paragraphs 1 and 2 being to the Barrie Police, looking at a full complement of members to address these issues of mental health crisis, addiction, and homelessness, and then the OPP requesting them to continue their efforts on the Highway 400 ramps. I think those 3 paragraphs need to be replaced, and I have here an amendment that I will move. So it's to replace paragraphs 1 to 3 with the following. Number 1, that correspondence be sent to local MPPs, the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, and the Premier in support of immediately raising Ontario Works, OW, and Ontario Disability Support, ODSP, social assistance rates above the poverty line. And 2, that staff investigate the feasibility of a pilot program to retain outreach workers and or social workers to assist people experiencing homelessness and living in poverty in the downtown area to connect to services and to act as a resource for downtown residents and businesses and report back to General Committee. So these are 2 general items that I think could make a difference in people's lives if the provincial government listens. We are in an election right now, and I think now is a really good time for us to advocate on these issues. There are thousands of people in our community on Ontario Works and Ontario Disability Support Payments living in poverty. These are people on social assistance living in poverty.
I may be bold, but I'm not oblivious that my item of discussion is not going to pass tonight. So I'm going to withdraw my item of discussion, and I'm going to do what's best for our community. And I'm going to say, let's not stop talking about this, and let's get a solution.
Yes, I will move to add paragraph, I guess I'll do these separately. Paragraph what will that be, 6, that correspondence be sent to local MPPs, the Minister of Children, Community and Social Services, and the Premier in support of immediately raising Ontario Works and ODSP social assistance rates above the poverty line.
All in favor? Against? You're against? Okay. It's passed. It's carried. Any other amendments on the motion before we have a vote on the twice amended original motion put on the floor by Councilor Thomson? If not, all in favor? It's unanimous. Thank you, everyone.
I just want to thank members of General Committee for their interest in this topic, and Councilor McCann for withdrawing your motion. And I do want to talk about I think the downtown, because that's the amendment on the floor right now, about the downtown specifically. City of Barrie is one of the safest cities in the entire country, and the crime rates in the downtown are even with the rest of the city. So there isn't a higher level of crime in the downtown, and we need to stop this anti-marketing campaign of our downtown. We need to tell the good stories, and I just hope that we can take this lesson of this evening and learn that lesson and move forward on real solutions, and I'm thankful that General Committee has taken that opportunity tonight.